I'm like, yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Just Give Us a Minute.
Just give us a minute. Hey, like we always say, just give us a minute of time to put something on your mind.
So what's up, man? Today we're gonna have some locker room talk, man. It's playoff weekend, AFC Championship, NFC Championship. First off, we got diehard, lifelong Chiefs fan, Rafiq back with us. What's up, Fee?
What's going on, my man?
Chilling, man. Good to have you back on, man. I know if anybody could talk sports, especially about the Chiefs, it's you, man. So definitely glad to have you. And then we got Darren,
Super Bowl champion
covering
the mannequin. You know what I'm talking about?
Go ahead. Hey, D, tell them where you're from, man. Tell them where they can find you, man.
Well, first of all, I'm not used to men fighting over me, so I'm not sure what that got going on. So, but you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Darren Smith WHB. Of course, you can catch me Monday through Friday, ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM, as well as 1510.com. Tomorrow night, I'll be hosting a live Red Zone special on Sports Radio 810 WHB from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. So we'll be talking to special guests, taking phone calls, get people's thoughts and predictions on Sunday's AFC Championship game and, of course, the NFC Championship game as well. And then, of course, you can also hear me on Fox Sports Parsons, 8 a.m. Saturday mornings and 8 p.m. on Sunday nights.
That sounds like a busy man.
Boy got a list.
That boy sound like a busy
man.
That's on point, though.
That man said he's got a special guest. Well, today y'all the special guest. You know what I'm talking about?
I appreciate that. I appreciate being
on. Y'all know him as Darren Smith, but I like to call him Devin A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? No, man. Like I said, man, definitely glad to have you on, man. It's an exciting weekend for us. Kansas City natives, man. Born and raised, all of us. So, Chiefs having the opportunity to run it back to the Super Bowl after winning last year and then making the AFC Championship the year prior, man. It's a big deal, man. How you feeling about that, Pete?
3 years in a row, man. First AFC team to do it, So that's the big thing. And, I done had many disappointments. So, oh, man, I was ecstatic when we won that thing.
Yes, sir.
For the second one. We got the best quarterback, in the NFL.
We're gonna get to that.
Definitely.
Some stuff today, man. And I was like, they wasn't giving them his props, man. Detail before we go there, man. How you feeling about this?
Well, you talking about me for Sunday's game in general?
Yeah, tell me more from a fan aspect. How you feeling about it as a fan? I mean, I know you cover the team, but how are you feeling as a fan?
Well, just for a disclaimer, I'm not a fan of the team. Since I do cover them, I try to have a little impartiality because when I have to criticize them, I have to have a little bit of what they call credibility in this business.
But you say impartiality.
He did say that.
Yeah.
We went to alternative school, man. You gotta excuse us. Oh, you too. Yeah, we bad off over here.
I would try not to use big words on this show. That being the case, look, in all seriousness, I think it's I believe it's big for Kansas City. One, we've been through the 2 and 14 years. We've been through the down years. We've been through the years with Marty Schottenheimer, Derek Thomas, and those players where they got to the AFC Championship game. Yeah, they got to the AFC Championship game once and fell short. But then all the other years, they would have good records. They'd have a good offensive team, bad defense or great defense and bad offense. So nothing really meshed. These last 2 years under Patrick Mahomes, we've the first year we had a great offense and a horrible defense, but the offense kind of offset the defense. But these last 3 years have been something special for Kansas City, and it is because of the addition of Patrick Mahomes that now give Chiefs fans the feeling that they could be the new New England Patriots, where you could see yourself going to the AFC Championship game and Super Bowl for many years to come.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. So, Fig, you talked on Patrick Mahomes, kind of touched on that, man. I was watching a couple of sports shows earlier today, man, and and they were kind of questioning his GOAT status. You know, they was actually throwing around the word GOAT as it related to Aaron Rodgers and not even Tom Brady, man. How do you feel about that, man? Where do you rank Aaron Rodgers in that group, let's say, of, you know, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and himself, Aaron Rodgers?
The reason they give Aaron Rodgers so many props is because of his skills. But to me, I don't know that he's in the same breath as those boys just yet. Because he don't have a lot of hardware. That's just my thought. I don't know why he gets so much publicity and so much credibility, and he only has one championship. One. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he basically came right on the cusp of right after Brett Favre. So, like I said, you know, he done ran off a couple coaches, ran off some offensive coordinators. So, I mean, you know, this is probably gonna be the year though he goes. I hate to say it, he probably gonna go to the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be the State Farm Championship. You know, Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers more than likely.
The way I look at it, though, man, they just give him the props. His skill set is amazing. I mean, he an amazing quarterback, but bro,
gotta have that hardware though.
It's some cats out there with some hardware, man. You got Montana with what do you have? Montana got 4. He got 5.
He's got 4.
Yeah,
I thought he had 5.
Steve Young.
He's got 4.
Yeah.
Steve Young has 3.
No, he's saying Steve Young got that extra one with San Fran.
Yeah,
he's got 3.
You got Brady who got about 30. You know what I'm saying? So, like for real, when they start talking that GOAT status, to me it got to go through 12. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It got to go through 12.
See, the thing about it though, when they talk about, they kind of try to label Montana like a Jordan, and then Brady kind of like a LeBron, because Brady been so many times and he only won a certain amount, and every time that Montana went, he won each one of his. So that's kind of difference in the GOAT thing, just to kind of bring you up.
What he have been to, like 9?
Yeah, somewhere in there, and then
yeah, I think he's 6 out of 9.
Yeah,
I mean, come on now, ain't nobody ever done that. Ain't nobody ever went to 9 Super Bowls. That's a little different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
yeah, it is.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah,
I mean, me personally, man, when it comes to that particular game, I can't bet against Brady. Like I said, just I mean, the lights. He's been under them lights multiple times. You know what I mean? I consider him to be the greatest of all time. Honestly, I think Patrick is the GOAT right now. I see the torch being passed on, you know, after Sunday. I see Brady and them going to the Super Bowl, and I see him passing that torch to Patrick, or I should say Patrick taking it, because as long as Patrick is healthy, I'm not going to bet against him. I just don't see that. So
hard to.
Hey, hold up. Justin P. White said if Dan Marino won at least 1 ring, he would be top 5 all time. I think Marino probably is top 5, and that's another one of them things where it's just his skill set was just so amazing, especially at that time. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't make it to those dances. Then them dances count. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's other super greats that didn't make it, that don't have that hardware. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me say this. You know, in this business, unfortunately, things, you know, we go by the number of rings and the number of championships that that you won versus what you lost or not even been able to get to. You know, that's like asking the question, is Phillip Rivers like a Hall of Famer? I don't think he is, but longevity and how the story is going to be written, they'll claim that he's a Hall of Famer. As it relates to Aaron Rodgers, it's all about storyline. This is a good storyline year for him. Arian, of course, you know, Smitty, as it relates to wrestling, it's all built upon storylines. Going into this season, the storyline for Aaron Rodgers was the fact that Green Bay drafted his successor, and he wasn't happy about that because he's never had a first round pick as a wide, for a wide receiver. So he played angry this season, and by him playing angry, he has led his team to a 13-3 record, number 1 seed in the NFC. There's not even talk of Jordan Love right now and what Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do this season. Now, I have said this week that, to be quite honest, Patrick Mahomes has to not only get to the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl this year. for his legacy. But and I believe that the pressure is more great on Patrick than it is on anybody else. Aaron Rodgers, and I say that to say that you don't want to be you don't want to be Patrick Mahomes and end up being Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers, where you only get to one Super Bowl. And the fact that you now have 3 AFC Championship games at your home stadium, you're 1-1, and with Sunday's game coming up, so you have to win the game, one, because it's the trophy of the owner's father who you play for. So so you want to win that win the AFC thing first, but you also want to get to the Super Bowl, because Drew Brees, when he won that first one, 2009, people thought he would be back by now. Aaron Rodgers, when he won in 2010, people thought he'd be back by now. He's been to 3 NFC championship games since then, and he's lost all 3. He's on his 4th one right now. If he were to lose, he'd be like Donovan McNabb, would be 1-4. So you don't want to. So you don't want to fall in a situation where you're Patrick, you go to 1-2, and then because as young as he is, just like Brett Favre, just like Drew Brees, your fan base thinks that you're going to get back there and think it's that easy. Nothing is guaranteed. So if Patrick doesn't get past this weekend and get to Super Bowl and hopefully win it again, then he could find himself in a situation where he's Russell Wilson, where he goes back to back and splits, or he finds himself being in a situation with Drew Brees and perhaps even Aaron Rodgers, where you only get to one Super Bowl. You got all that talent, so we're putting Patrick in GOAT status without seeing what the rest of the story is going to be for him right now.
I personally don't feel we could put Patrick in GOAT status.
No. I'm not. No, but I'm saying, but
people are trying to.
Everybody talking about he's the greatest of all time, and bro, he's only played 3 years.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been an impressive 3 years.
Yeah, but I think he has the potential to do it, though. Yeah. I think he has the potential, and he has the coach to make some heavy runs. I don't think nobody's going
to teammates as well. Yeah. I'm saying he's got the collective unit around him that if they stay together, stay healthy, don't let money. Well, Patrick, with his contract, he's the only athlete in the history of sports that has a $500 million contract that is team friendly, because one, he's not money hungry. So if they always have to go back to Patrick to try to adjust, Patrick knows to be great. And Patsy, the key is Patrick wants to be in that Tom Brady conversation. Yeah. But he also knows to do that, you have to be surrounded by the talent to get you there. He just can't rely on his arm, because you just can't put anybody with Patrick and think that that's going to get you a Super Bowl. He knows what it's going to take. So for him, he's smart enough to know that, okay, if I'm got all this money and the team needs to, look, if I need Tyreek Hill here for another 3 years, I need to restructure my contract so we can afford to pay him. And then and then of course you can continue to draft players and maybe get some veteran players on the cheap along the way. But Patrick is smart to know that, hey, if I got to take less, if I got to come on some more of that money to keep my chance of going to the Super Bowl like Tom Brady, because at the end of the day, he knows he's going to be judged by the number of rings that he gets. Not by regular season MVP. See, like I've talked to people close to Patrick. Patrick doesn't care about the regular season MVP. It's cool that he got it, but what he cares about is the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, because he knows that's how he's going to be judged. Peyton Manning has 5 regular season MVPs, but only 2 Super Bowls.
All right, well, let me jump in real quick, D. We got a question from Justin White. He says, so he has a question. If Pat wins another ring, is he a sure shot Hall of Famer? What's your guys' thought? I think, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm again, man. I don't
know. The Hall?
No.
Hold on. Who in their first 3 years or 4 years, whatever you want to call it, has gone to 3 NFC championships? And if he wins, he done won 2 Super Bowls
in 3 years. Well, I mean that's a good thing. Let me bring something forward though.
And I think Ben Roethlisberger might fit that bill right there.
I was about to say, even if not, he's very close to it. I know his first year he went somewhere, and I of course he's a Hall of Famer too. But I was gonna give you somebody that's on the cusp of that got 2 rings and. It's questionable if he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Eli Manning. That was gonna trash, be but he got the name. He beat the person that y'all just called the GOAT. He beat him both times.
Luckily,
it don't matter. He won them.
It was luck.
It doesn't matter. He won them.
One of them was pure defense, and luck was the other one.
Hey,
But at the end of the day, it's the storyline that's going to be written.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So
just to kind of give Tom Brady just some praise, man. Postseason stats, games played 43, so he ranks number 1. 32 wins, ranks number 1. Passing
everything,
11,968 first. Passing touchdown 77 first. The dude's amazing. So
he's number 1 in everything.
Yeah, I mean, so from this perspective with Eli, I'm not a fan of Eli. I think Eli's overrated. I think He has a great supporting cast. Because here's another thing. We say hardware counts, but let's take this into consideration. Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman has 3.
Cold. And
right? But we won't put him in the GOAT status. Why? Because he had Emmett, Daryl Johnston, Jay Novacek.
I'm gonna tell you what Troy did, because now
you don't put him in the GOAT status.
Now you driving in my lane. Let me tell you why he's not getting it, right? He sacrificed throws for the sake of the team. Mm-hmm. They were a run dominant offense.
Facts.
If they would have been pass dominant, we'd be having a whole nother conversation about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman is noted as one of the most accurate quarterbacks to ever touch the game. You got Money Mike on one end, you got Albert Harper on the other. If they would have just let his arm loose, but they didn't have to because they had Eazy-E back there doing his work. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it is what it is.
They literally had probably one of the greatest lineups in NFL history. Those early 90 years of the Dallas team, those players, Hall of Fame players, like you can name damn near the whole roster, and you can't do that with everybody saying. Right. So when we talk, like I'm a Cowboys fan. So let's just put it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I love the Chiefs. It's my city, but I'm a Cowboys fan. But I love Troy Aikman. I respect what he did. But again, like El said, when you got Emmitt Smith back there, he kind of gets overshadowed by that. Just like we can have a dope running back, but most of us only see Patrick Mahomes. We don't see anybody else. We might see Kelsey, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, we see Patrick Mahomes as our one and only savior versus the Cowboys. Back then, multiple weapons, especially when Deion came. You know what I mean?
But let's not talk on the greatest team ever. Let's get back to
but to that point, Patrick is who he is because of who he has around him. It's going to be just like any other good quarterback. Tom Brady had the defense the year that they should have won it. He had Randy Moss, but those other years that he did win it recently, he had Rob Gronkowski. I'm saying you can't do it by yourself.
You can't. But let me say this. Hold on.
Not one team.
You can't. But the things that he does, the things that he sees, the things that he makes,
he's different.
He's different.
Hey, and this thing though,
he's
D.
Different, D.
I'll say this,
different, bro.
When we talking about Patrick Mahomes, he probably has easily the worst offensive line in the game right this moment, and he still makes plays. But I got my own personal question I want to ask D, just because I've been wanting to know it. This is my own thought though. Who do you rank better, Tony Gonzalez or Kelsey?
Kelsey got the hardware, baby. Hey,
I got an argument on that. I got a big argument on that. Or debate, whatever.
There's nothing real debate. I mean, look, right now, Gonzalez has the longevity because he's played. I think he played 9 years here, maybe 5 years down in Atlanta. But when it's all said and done, I believe. Now, if you're talking about currently, as of right now, I would say obviously Gonzalez because he can't add any more to his story because he's already in the Hall of Fame. His career's over. Kelsey is still adding to it. So that being the case, yeah, as of right now, Gonzalez has a better career because he's already accomplished and he's in the Hall of Fame. But when it's all said and done, I believe Travis Kelce will have the better long-term career.
I might be with you on that, bro.
The reason I disagree in a sense,
that, bro.
Name me the best quarterback that Tony Gonzalez has.
I mean, that
makes the big difference. And let me say this: when you say, because you was talking about surrounding cast, which makes a big difference. When you got somebody like Tyreek Hill that takes the top off of the defense and gets a double team the majority of the time, which opens up the middle of the field for Kelsey, it makes it very easy for him to make all the yards that he get. Tony Gonzalez was the focal point of the Kansas City Chiefs offense back then, and I'm saying he was the number one receiver on the team. he was getting double teamed and still made the yards that he made,
Okay,
and had second quarterback all through his career.
He didn't have second quarterback all through the career because you
I'm not talking about in Atlanta. I'm talking about
I'm talking about Kansas City because
you gonna call Trent Green.
Well, let's see. I mean, with that, when Trent Green was his quarterback,
Steve DeBerg.
I'm sorry. See, hold on. I didn't interrupt you now. Last I checked, he had Priest Holmes, he had Larry Johnson, he had the White House. He had a hell of an offensive line. I'm sorry, because if you're gonna tell me Will Shields, Willie Roaf, and I can't think of the other name. But he had 3 Hall of Famers on that offense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So hold on. There were years that they were 13-3. Okay, with Tony Gonzalez on this team. So to try to say he didn't have a quarterback is unfair and it's not a factual statement, because just because he didn't have a Patrick Mahomes doesn't mean he didn't have a good quarterback, because he was still breaking records, he was still putting up yards, somebody was still getting, but he was still catching touchdowns. So at the end of the day, he may not have made his team as great as Travis Kelce is, but that's not the quarterback's fault, and that's not his fault. It's a collective unit. So again, Travis Kelce may end up having a better career because of who his quarterback is now, and because you have to remember the passing game has changed since the time that even Tony Gonzalez did. So I'm saying, I'm saying so there's more emphasis on it. But again, I'm not taking away. I'm not trying to compare one to the other, because I mean, look, they're both great in their own right, and during this time here in Kansas City, Tony Gonzalez was great during his time here. But I mean, just like everything, the game and the position and everything continues to evolve.
Yeah, it does.
That Kelsey's a bad.
He's bad. I don't take not a thing.
But I feel
Kelsey,
you though, because you got that cheetah taking the top off of everything. Yeah. And it's gonna leave you open, but that's hey, that ain't his fault.
No, it ain't. And he's still
choice. And Kelsey's choice in women is impeccable at the moment.
Yes, I have to.
Well, I'm gonna put my collar for Kelsey. Well, I'll take that.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put my collar up for Kelsey.
I mean, because I think he has that over Tony Gonzalez as well.
Yeah. And then I'll say too, yards after the catch.
All college pop for Kelsey.
He definitely. I'll give him that in the column. In that column,
yards. So let me ask this. We're not necessarily switching gears because it's their opponents. What should the Chiefs be worried about as it relates to the Bills this weekend, D?
Everything.
Okay, I didn't know. I know if you're going to take it because you asked me that question.
I'll let you get it, and then I got a little something.
I'm sorry, I meant L, but I mean, obviously, the biggest thing that you want to do, you want to protect Patrick with the offensive line. Of course, they're still not 100%, but in actuality, you want to protect Patrick from himself. Because Patrick is he's going to run the ball. He's going to show that I don't have a concussion, and then he might end up getting, I'm not going to speak that into existence, but you want to protect Patrick from himself. But if you're looking at it from what Buffalo's going to have to do, I mean, it's going to be tough because Kansas City has enough weapons, but Leslie Frazier has improved that defense for the Buffalo Bills, and so obviously the magic number for Kansas City is 30 because it's 31 because that's the least amount of points that Patrick has scored in the playoffs as a starting quarterback for the up until last week as a starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. So obviously it's for the Chiefs. My biggest concern for the Chiefs is when they get on top of a team, to keep that foot on the gas pedal and to continue to score. And not to say you score at will, because they believe they can score 50 points a game, and it might take that. And if you get into a shootout with Kansas City, I still like the Chiefs' chances based on their defense and who they had defensively. But if you're asking me what makes me nervous about Buffalo, the only thing that really makes me nervous is on the offensive side of the ball, Josh Allen and his connection to Stephon Diggs as well as Cole Beasley. Other than that, I don't really trust their run game. They don't trust their run game, which means they might try to run the ball Sunday against Kansas City. But here's the thing. This is the game where Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and Steve Spagnuolo. This is where they earn their money. This is why they paid. This is why they brought him in, paid him the big bucks. If you're Steve Spagnuolo, they brought him in last year for 3 purposes: beat New England, win the AFC Championship, win the Super Bowl. Same thing this year. You didn't have to worry about New England, but you're in the AFC Championship game. You're trying to get to the Super Bowl. This is what you're here for. And look, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, they've been in the U.S. Marshals Witness Protection program most of the season. If you do not hear their names called early and often in the first half, that's a problem. That would be a concern.
But we didn't speak about the first meeting because we had a meeting with the Bills earlier this year, and Stephon Diggs was in MIA that game, and so that would be one of the keys.
Well, what Diggs had just came back from injury. He led the team 6 catches, 46 yards, and 1 touchdown. But remember, Kansas City did what I generally tell other teams to do. They ran the ball effectively.
Yeah, definitely.
They ran for 245 yards. The defense made Josh Allen comfortable. He was only 14 of 27. I think he threw 2 touchdowns and an interception. Patrick didn't have a big game. He threw for 200 yards and he threw for 2 touchdowns, but he relied on the run game. And like he said, coming out of that ball game, hey, if it takes running the football, we can do that as well. And I don't have a problem with that. And that's what.
But his old boy, what's the latest on CEH? I know he was limited in practice Wednesday, but I didn't get to see what he did.
He's questionable. I mean, he's
questionable again.
Yeah. So look,
Bell ain't did nothing, and I'll take Darrell Williams had a good performance last week, but
look, I trust Andy Reid and his coaching staff as it relates to having a team prepared. Look, the biggest question mark has been answered. That's Patrick. If Patrick is playing, everything else to me as it relates, as long as Patrick, Kelsey, Tyreek is there, you got it. I mean,
you got a great chance. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this though, and this is the only. No team really scares me when it comes to the Chiefs. But one thing that does kind of make me go back on my heels a little bit is the Bills kind of peaked. And they riding that momentum wave, man.
Oh yeah,
that momentum wave is real.
Oh, yeah. Mo was real. Yeah. But here's the thing: what we were most concerned with last week with Kansas City was them coming out early and often and scoring. Mm-hmm. They were able to do that, of course, until Patrick got injured in the game and then left. Yeah. But we also wonder what about that defense, and the defense stepped up. The biggest question mark, I'm telling you, the biggest question mark going into Sunday's game is that kicking game of Harrison Butker. I keep trying to tell people Harrison Butker is going to, and he's going to be the reason why if the Chiefs don't win.
He scares me sometimes. He does scare me because
you cannot afford to leave points on the board in the playoffs.
Not at all. Because what would he leave about?
4
points? 4 points? Yeah. And we wouldn't even have to worry about that 4th and 1.
Exactly.
We'd have been way out the game. I mean,
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Hey, Chiefs fans was about ready to lynch him for a second there last week, man.
They get I
know I was ready to flame them, boy.
So what you expecting the atmosphere to be like Sunday, dude?
Well, you'll have
as a motherfucker. My bad. That was a right on out, man.
I expect to be loud. Here's the thing. Josh Allen's never played at Arrowhead, so he's only heard about how loud it's going to be. The fact you're going to have like about 21,000 fans there. The most that they've had in Buffalo this year is about 6,700. So even the fact that you have about 20-some thousand, it's still going to be right on top of you. And so, I believe that the Chiefs fans will play a vital part in the game on Sunday.
Think what you think, man?
Yeah, because Josh Allen is still kind of young too. I mean,
just a year younger than Pat.
I'm just saying, as far as the maturity of his game and all that. So, yeah,
and dealing with our crowd is different, boy.
Very different.
It's different.
But like D said, the killer is if Clark and Jones gets any kind of pressure, the game will change real quick.
Yep.
Real quick. Because Josh Allen, he's one of those. He can improvise. He can improvise. He does the running, and he got one of those big arms, and he believes in his arm. That's the big thing about that. He almost believes in his arm more so than Pat does.
Oh no.
Matter of fact, he tried to
Pat knows his arm, but
I'm saying, remember early in the beginning of the year, he challenged Pat to a throw off.
Hold on. Here's the thing, man. Elephants don't swat at flies, bro. That's what you're not understanding. Hold on. Patrick ain't got nothing to prove. Patrick got the ring. He ain't got nothing to prove.
Yeah, he does. He does. That was the whole purpose of when he threw that ball out of the stadium to show, like, boy, you ain't in my league. And then he still challenged him still.
Okay, well, last I checked, I haven't seen no footage of Josh Allen throwing the ball out of any stadium.
He hasn't. He hasn't threw it out. Yeah, but I'm just saying you said he don't have nothing to prove. That was a proven moment right there. He was like, boy, here, I got something for you. And that's when he did that.
I think you read more into it than a lot of
What else did he do it for?
Because
at that time, that's when old boy was challenging him. What else did he do it for?
No, he actually did it. Well, that's irrelevant to the conversation. But I don't even know, Ari, where we at?
Even A. Smith came out.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Let's switch gears for a minute. What we looking at in this Bucks and Packers game, though? What are we looking at in that?
Well, before the season, I've been on record, I think, since April 23rd or whatever. Whenever they signed Tom Brady, I've been on record that my prediction for the Super Bowl is going to be the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are going to be the first team to host the Super Bowl in their own stadium. And the reason why I felt that way is because I thought that Tom Brady, with his high football IQ, could take a team that was already 7-9 that was playoff potential, but the problem was they had a quarterback that turned the ball over too much. My thing was if Brady comes in there and cuts those turnovers down at least by half, which he's cut it down by more than that, then that's good for an additional maybe 4 wins, which they end up becoming 11-5. And so, look, it might not have been good enough to win the division because, no off season, no training camp. Your first game is against the division rival.
Whooping that ass.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they continue to get better. They continue to just work on things along the way. And Tom Brady, being the professional that he is, was able to get his system installed on top of Bruce Arians' system. Everybody was talking about how he was over the hill, how he couldn't throw the ball down the field. I mean, look, he was top 5 in touchdowns and passing yards, all that good stuff. So to me, Tom Brady still has a lot left in the tank. And look,
do you think Antonio Brown being out is going to be in effect?
No, because here's the thing: Antonio Brown didn't have any effect on them winning the game last week. He only had 1 catch, 10 yards. Scotty Miller was already playing well before Antonio Brown got there. So the fact that you already got 2 Pro Bowl receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, you got those tight ends, you got Rob Gronkowski, you got a 2-headed running back, and you got Scotty Miller. Again, for me, the key is going to be, and this is what I meant. This is what I meant to say earlier when I asked Arian what we were talking about, was that if Josh Allen tries to run, and now I don't know what the weather. The weather's going to be about 40-some degrees. But if Josh Allen runs, if I'm anybody on that defense, if Josh Allen runs the ball, I'm going to punish him and make sure he understands that you're not going to run the ball on us. You're going to pass the ball before you think twice about running again. That's the same thing. That's the same scenario that's going to happen. In Sunday's game.
Who will be that enforcer though? Because I'm
gonna tell you. So for the Chiefs, it can be just anybody on defense. He comes out there, he comes around the corner, you pop his ass. But I'm going back to the Saints Buck game. In that particular game, it's going to be incumbent on Ndamukong Suh to muster up whatever he can from his Nebraska Cornhusker days to get after Aaron Rodgers. They don't like each other, or at least Suh doesn't like Rodgers. So if he has to, the weather's going to be under 32 degrees. If you have to get a 15-yard penalty to kind of set the stage, to set the momentum, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You do hold on, now you do that early in the ball game so it doesn't hurt you later on in the game. But you set the tone early. What they need to do, they need to pretty much mirror that defense that they put out against the Saints last week in that game. Because to me, obviously, they have the running game of Aaron Jones, but they got another run stopper. I think Matt Vita or someone that's coming back from the injured reserve list that's going to be starting in the game on the Bucs defensive line. So I think they'll be able to control the run game. So now you can maybe trick Aaron Rodgers where you might have 8 guys up front, and when he goes to pass, you drop players back. So again, this is going to be a chess match, but I trust Tom Brady at the end of the day. I know Green Bay has a home field advantage. I know they have the reigning or someone who's going to win the MVP, but I think if they can keep the game close, just within that possession, I think Tom Brady will be able to get sneak an extra possession in if they get Green Bay to go 3 and out, and we'll be able to, with the field position, be able to do something. Because here's the thing, they can go score for score because I think they've scored 40 points twice in the 6-game stretch. But what Brady's going to have to do, Brady's going to have to methodically march up and down the field, take time off the clock, and force Aaron to have to come out and rush to score while Brady can with that offensive line, as long as they protect him like they've been doing, protect Brady and just and look, eat that clock up. You get 4 yards, don't hike that ball again till like 2 seconds left. Run it again. Now it's now it's maybe 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. Boom, hit them again with it. And then when you get down in the red zone, if you have to, short passes, whatever it takes. But let that clock be your friend. Keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline.
All right, let me jump in real quick. We got a question from John Christian. He said, and I think we're going back to the Chiefs game. Who is your guy's X factor for Sunday? He said his is butt kicker.
And also give us your game prediction scores.
My X factor for Sunday again is 2 is Chris Jones and Frank Clark. Again, I feel like they have to win the line of scrimmage. They have to get pressure on Josh Allen and force him into making mistakes, kind of like what they were able to do in Buffalo in week number 6. My score prediction for the Packers-Bucs game, I have the Bucs 31, the Packers 28. In Kansas City, I have the Chiefs 31, and I have the Bills 17.
Big, what about you?
Who's your X factor?
My X factor, the same one who's been doing this thing the week before. I think it's gonna be Matthew more than likely. Matthew, Tyreek Hill, they're my 2 that I would think in that game. And in the Bucs and the Green Bay, I think it's more so gonna play. It's gonna be the defense more than those quarterbacks. I think both of those quarterbacks are gonna perform up to par, but it's who's gonna get a key turnover or a key stop on that Bucs and Green Bay game. Predictions, I rarely do predictions, but
I mean, you
can't. I'll come up with one. Give me a second, because I think we're gonna score.
A minute.
Yeah, I got you on that. He got 19 last week, and he was on his way 14.
Think you talking to yourself or the audience?
Yeah, to myself. Yeah. I was trying to figure it out.
Thinking,
yeah.
My X factor is gonna be. I think Tyreek Hill needs to just go ahead and act really, really bad this
Muscle
weekend. Up. My prediction is I'm gonna go. Just because I like Tom Brady, I'm going to go Tampa Bay for the win, and then I'm going to go Chiefs for the win. I don't do them scores. They're my predictions. Win-win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, look, first of all, the fact that you agree with me makes you smart. So
that's a fact.
That's a good thing. Aaron, you as well. So, that's a good career move when you're agreeing with me with the outcome.
I got a different career path. I'm going Chiefs. I already said Chiefs and Packers. I think it's going to be a State Farm game. I really do. I think they are the face of the NFL right now. And for that prediction, I'm gonna go
You've already told
38 to 24 for the Chiefs.
Okay.
And Bucks and Saints, that's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to end up like 35-32.
That's fair.
Like a field goal game. I think it's going to be a field goal. And like I said, it's going who's going to get that key stop defensively.
I'm definitely going with the Chiefs. Definitely going with the Chiefs against the Bills. I'm gonna say 28-17 Chiefs. Packers, Bucks. My heart says Brady. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers got a chip on his shoulder, but I'm gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna say the Bucks. I'm gonna say 28-21 Bucks.
Yep. I would love to see the passion of the torch, though. I really would. I'd like to see Pat get a chance to go back up against Brady and give him that business one more time to get him on up out of there.
We don't see, man, and we know hopefully the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, man. We run it back, man, do a Super Bowl edition, man. But I definitely want to thank y'all for coming on the show, man. Fig, said diehard, probably one of the most diehard Chiefs fans I've known my whole life. And Darren, man, your knowledge is impeccable, man. Darren Smith, man. So
no partialities.
Yeah, but I definitely want to thank y'all for coming on the show. This has been another episode of Just Give Us a Minute. We out.
Be out.
Peace.